Hi, everyone. I am going to be telling you a science story about Springer's family tree. And this story is important to think about because we know that Springer showed up all alone in Puget Sound, right outside of Seattle. And scientists have been trying to figure out why she showed up alone. And so I'm going to tell you a little story about Springer's family, and I'm going to start right here so you can see my arrow. That is Springer down there at the bottom. And this is a chart that scientists have put together to try to organize pods so that we know whose mom and whose grandma is who and where the aunts and uncles are. And people have been studying and spending time with orca whales for thousands of years. Indigenous peoples have been um, learning about orcas and studying them and spending time with them, and same with the scientists that we have today. And so we have this chart of Springer's family. And so here's Springer at the bottom. She was born in 2000. She was born a female or a girl, and her number is A73 because she belongs to the A clan. And her mom is Sutley. And Sutley is up here. And anytime you see a box that's in a darker color, like kind of like the black or the dark gray, that means that whale has passed away. And so here's Springer. She's still alive. Her mom passed away. The scientists think she passed away in 2001. And Springer's mom also had another whale, a calf that passed away before Springer was born. And so you see here are all of Springer's aunts and uncles. Some of them have passed away. Some of them are still alive. So we have Schooner, Magan, and Toba, who are still alive. So let's go back to Springer, her mom, and then her grandma's over here. So Springer's grandma had to take over leadership. She had to take leadership over of the pod because something happened in the pod. And it's something kind of sad. Sometimes sad things happen in families. And so Springer's grandma, Kelsey, and Yak Cat had to take over the pod because their mom, so Springer's great grandma, whose name is A10, they didn't give her a name on this chart, but A10 was the great grandma of Springer, was swimming at a beach with her calf, her new calf, A47. I'm going to show you what that beach looks like. And there's a beach up in Canada where the whales love to go and rub their bellies up on the rocks. It feels really good to them. And so Springer's great grandmother was up there with her new calf, and this is what they were doing. It was very close to shore. You can hear the rocks. So that is what Springer's great grandmother was doing. And so what happened was when Springer's grandmother was up there at Rubbing Beach, there was either a man or a group of men with guns, and they shot Springer's great grandmother and her calf. And they didn't die right away, but they did die later that winter. Um, and the scientists know this because they were close by. They heard the gunshots, and they jumped in a boat and went over as quickly as they could to see, what happened and if they could help at all. And what they said was that the Springer's grandmother was kind of pushing her calf closer to their boat, and they were both bleeding. And they said it was a really, really, really sad thing that they saw, and they were very, very, very angry that someone would shoot these beautiful animals. And so think about sometimes when really sad things happen in families. It can be very stressful. People can have a lot of different kinds of feelings. They could be angry or sad, or maybe they don't want to talk, or maybe they feel like yelling. So all of those feelings, um, that families feel when something sad happens, is something to kind of think about because Springer's great grandmother died the same year that her calf died after they were shot. And so Yak Cat, her daughter, and Kelsey, her other daughter, had to take over. And they were very, very young. They were in their 30s when they had to take over. And normally in a pod, you have the oldest, wisest grandmother that is in charge because she knows where the best hunting grounds are and she knows where the the best places to rest or to play are. And so grandmothers in pods have lots of wisdom, just like human grandmothers have lots of wisdom also. They know many things. And so even though that very sad thing happened, I promise the story has a happy ending. So what scientists think happened was that um, Sutley, the year before Springer disappeared, was that Springer's mother, Sutley, would take Springer and go off and visit other pods. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes whales do that. But it was unusual because she was gone for a long time. Normally they stay with their pod and they're very close with their pod. And so they think maybe something was happening. Maybe there was an argument or a disagreement. But then they noticed Springer and Sutley never came back to the pod. And so they're not sure what happened to them until a little orphaned orca showed up in Puget Sound. And what you will find is that Springer was reunited with her pod. And the story has a very happy ending that Springer's great aunt took care of her and showed her how to be an orca and taught her all kinds of orca stuff like catching fish and, how to do things, lots of cultural things. And here's a picture of Springer, and she's all grown up. So this is Springer as a grown up orca whale, and she's a mother. Right here is her calf, and her calf is named Spirit. And this little calf was born in 2014. So Springer's pod did such a great job helping her learn how to be an orca that she got to grow up and be an orca mom. And then a couple of years later in 2014, she had another calf, and his name is Storm. And so it's pretty amazing what happened with this pod, that even though they've had lots of, sad things happen and lots of their family members have passed away, they did such a good job raising Springer to be such a strong, healthy orca mama that she now has her own calves and she's a mother herself. So that is the end of the science story. If you have any questions, feel free to let your teacher know. And I hope you enjoy learning about this little orca.